Hey folks, welcome back to another review with yours truly, Sam Healey. Today we're taking a look at DC Spyfall. This is another member of the Spyfall family. There was Spyfall 1 and then Spyfall 2, and now they're coming up with this DC Spyfall, which is in all, generally speaking, it's just like the others, except it has the DC universe wrapped around it. And you're not a spy, you're the Joker, and everybody else has superpowers possibly, or you could just be a bystander. We'll talk about all that in just a little bit. But generally, the heroes are trying to find out who the Joker is, and the Joker is just trying to slip by and stay unnoticed, or try to find out where he actually is. And all that happens by asking questions and providing answers and trying to be as subtle and secretive as possible. Let's get down to the table. I'll show you how it works, and we'll come back with some final thoughts in just a few moments. So in the game of DC Spyfall, you're going to first of all just open up the box, and then there's going to be all of these. Of course, I've set this up where you separate all of the different cards into little individual packets, and you set them up in such a way that the Joker is always on the facing out, so you can't see what location it is, and then everything else is set in there the correct way. You also have a deck of ability cards that you're going to be handing out to everybody that's playing the game as well. So you're going to take these out, and then you're going to just randomly choose one of these locations, doesn't matter which one, and these will be the cards that you use for this turn. So you're first of all going to take the ability cards out of their deck, and you're going to give them a good shuffle because they are needing to be randomized, and then you deal one out for each of the 8 players, like so. And then you're going to take the location deck and making sure that you don't show anybody else, except you can take the bottom card off, make sure everybody knows that that is the Joker card, and then there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more cards, and these will be shuffled together. Once you have all of the location cards shuffled up, you give one to each player, and then you will tell them to look at the location at the same time. Then they will see that they are either at the Central City Police Department or they are the Joker. So these will be the 2 cards that are the 2 possibilities that they will have. Now, these special ability cards, they could be a number of different things. They could be just a bystander, and the bystander simply says you have no special ability this round, just focus on the questions and the answers and trying to accomplish the goal of the game. Or you could have a special ability. For example, Bizarro here is an ongoing ability, which means you use it throughout the entirety of the round, and it says you must answer questions in a bizarre way. Or you could have one-shot abilities, which, for example, this Ice Beam, it says redirect a question being asked to someone else. And you may even use if you are not the one being asked, but you can't redirect to the asker. And then once you use this, because it's a one-shot, it's discarded. So there are a number of different things that you can have here. And as far as the special abilities are concerned, and they are pretty neat because they spice up the game in a really interesting way. Now, the whole point of Spyfall is for everyone who knows the location that you're at, you're trying to find the person who is the Joker. And you're trying to do that by asking clever questions about the location that you're at that more than likely only the people who have that location card in front of them will be able to answer. Now, the problem here is that you don't want to be too specific in your question, and you definitely don't want to be too specific in your answer, because in doing so, you will be giving away the location to whomever the Joker is. Now, the Joker, on the other hand, is trying to listen to the questions and the answers that are being given and received in order to try to deduce which of the different locations it could possibly be. So it's very important that we put this out in front of everybody so that if people want to reference the location, they aren't studying their card, they're studying the spread here so that they can see all these different locations and ask an appropriate question, and then also whoever they're asking to can give an appropriate response. Now, this seems like it could go on forever. It possibly could. However, each round only takes 8 minutes, and you're supposed to use a timer in order to do that. Now, as questions are being asked and answered, it's important to remember that whomever asks a question, so for example, if this person asks this person a question, this person can ask any other question after they have answered it to anybody else on the table except this person. You can never ask a question back to the person who asked you a question. Now, the round will end in one of basically 3 different ways. The first way is that the timer runs out, and if no one has correctly accused the Joker at that point, there's going to be a round of discussions for about a minute or two. It doesn't have to be that long. At the end of that discussion, though, the leader of the round is going to basically count out 1, 2, 3. Everybody points to the person whom they think the Joker is. The person with the majority of votes has to flip over their location card. If they are the Joker, the heroes win. If they are not the Joker wins. Now, the second way that the round can end is if when one player is suspicious and they think they know who the Joker might be, and they will make their case, and then a vote is had, and the vote has to be unanimous. If the vote is unanimous, the person who is being accused has to turn over their card, and if that person is the Joker, well, then the heroes win. If the person is not the Joker, then the Joker wins. And then finally, the round can end by the Joker's request, where he will basically say, I'm the Joker, and he turns over his, and he picks the location, and if he is correct at picking the correct location that everybody is at, then he will have won the game, and the heroes have lost. Now, the rulebook states that you play a number of 5 rounds, and then whoever has the most points at the end of that 5th round is the winner. So in a Joker victory, the Joker would earn 2 points if no one successfully convicted him of being the Joker. The Joker would gain 4 points if a hero was successfully convicted of being the Joker. And the Joker would also earn 4 points if he stopped by revealing himself and picking the correct location. Now, in the event of a hero's victory, each hero would earn 1 point in the case of a hero victory. If a hero stops the round by unanimously convicting the Joker, the person who accused him gains an additional point, so he's going to get 2 points. And if this Joker is discovered at the end of the round by everybody, by the majority vote mechanic, then the person who made the original accusation is going to get that additional point. So, according to the rule book, if you play 5 rounds, whoever has the most points at the end of that 5 rounds is the winner. But you don't really have to play that. You can choose to play a one and done, just do 1 round and you're done, or play 2 or 3 rounds, or you just play until you're done playing. You don't have to actually keep points. It's really kind of an open-ended system. Now, the game does come with 3 modules. We've already showed you one of them in the ability cards that each player is given at the beginning of the round. So that's one of the modules that DC Spyfall comes with. The other module is the Harley Quinn module, which one of the location cards in each of the location decks has this little symbol on it of Harley Quinn. And if that is the case, then you are if you get the card that has that symbol on it, you are trying to help the Joker find out where we are. So you have to kind of give subtle hints, not too overt, because you don't want somebody to know that, or suspect rather, that you are Harley Quinn, but you're trying to give the Joker a few hints here and there of where you might be. Now, if the Joker correctly guesses the location with Harley Quinn's help, then all the players except for the Joker vote on who they think Harley Quinn is. If they discover Harley Quinn, the heroes actually steal the victory. So it's a little bit like Deception, Murder in Hong Kong that way. If somebody can find the witness, if the murderer and accomplice can correctly identify who the witness is, then they can actually pull off the victory. That's kind of the same idea that's going on here with the Harley Quinn module. And then you have a third module called the Multiverse Madness module, where you're going to have 2 decks that have 8 different locations in them. So when this deck is dealt out, each player is going to be given a different location. And so, but nobody knows if that's actually what's going on. So a couple of things about this. If the round ends without anybody discovering that it is a Multiverse Madness round, no one gets any points. And any player can end the round and call for a vote accusing the use of a multiverse deck during the course of the round. If it is a Multiverse Madness deck, then the person who ended the round successfully that way will get 3 points. If it is not the Multiverse Madness, the Joker earns 3 points. But you kind of get the idea. This is just kind of a wild and zany way to throw a couple of wrenches in the mix there. But an interesting module nonetheless. So that is, generally speaking, how you play Spyfall. It is just simply an 8-minute round of asking questions to and forth, with just a few caveats being that you can't ask a question to the person who asked you a question. You can stop it at any time to make accusations. The Joker can end the round anytime he wants to. So there's all those different caveats that are going on. However, it's a very light-hearted, simple game to play that anybody can get in on. If you know how to ask and answer questions, you can play this game. You might not be good at it. It is a game that you can become good at by asking very pointed questions and being able to give very pointed and yet subtle answers. So there is that. Now, with all that being said, let's go and get to the pros and cons of the game. First of all, the pros are this. I love the artwork. The artwork is great. It is not the comic book artwork that you would expect. It's a little bit different than that, which is good because I don't necessarily want the refinement that a comic book will give me. I want a little bit more of a goofy aspect because it kind of fits how this game works, you know? And so I like that the artwork didn't try to take itself too seriously, but it still remained nice and a pleasure to look at. The second thing are all of the modules that come into this one. Well, there's only 3 of them, but you get what I'm saying. First module of the powered up module where everybody can have possible special abilities. I love that because it's something that the first game tried to do with giving you a little specific person that you were at that location. It tried to do this. I think this is a much more streamlined, easier implementation of that, giving you the ability of being and answering questions a little bit differently than everybody else. So I like the modules. The powered up module is probably my favorite one. But the other 2, the Harley Quinn helper module is also great because that's one of the coolest things about Deception Murder in Hong Kong that I liked. That the murderer and the accomplice are working together, and if they can pick out who the witness is from all of the other investigators, then even if they've been convicted, they can get away scot-free. Well, that's kind of what's going on here with the Harley Quinn helper module. If she can give enough hints to the Joker where he's able to find out and deduce where the location is that they're all at and choose it correctly, as long as she stayed subtle enough and avoid being convicted, then the Joker and the Harley Quinn helper can get away scot-free and win, even if they've been found out. And then finally, the Multiverse Madness mode. That's just kind of a fun, silly thing to do, although I would imagine it's going to produce some pretty strange questions and probably even stranger answers. But those 3 modules, I love that this game comes with all 3 of those included because it really makes the game a little bit more spicy. And my final pro of the game is quite simply how easy it is to play and how it doesn't take so long. You can play 5, 6, 7, 8, however many rounds you want to play. Of course, the rulebook says play 5 rounds, whoever has the most points wins. Yeah, you can do that, but I think it's much more fun just to kind of leave it open-ended and just see how many times a person can be the Joker. I've seen that, where the person is a Joker over and over and over again in just one sitting, and that becomes a story that you can tell later on about this game. So I just love the open-ended structure that this game has, and how fun and easy it is to play and teach. So that's a great pro for me. One of the cons of the game, I guess, could be that sometimes people are just a little bit too shy. They don't want to make a mistake in front of everybody, so they take a little bit too long to ask just the perfectly worded question that they want to ask, or they take a little bit too long, or they read too much into the question and they give away too much in their answer. So it does have that caveat that it can kind of be derailed, almost, kind of, not really, but kind of, by someone who maybe isn't sure how they should ask a question, or isn't sure how they should answer a question. So it does have that going with it, but it's a very small con to me, because this is such a light party game. If you're worried about that, you probably shouldn't be playing Spyfall, any kind of Spyfall game, because it's just not the way the game is supposed to be played. And really, that's about it as far as the cons are concerned. This is a great game. I really enjoy playing this game. I enjoyed the original version and Spyfall 2 and all of the locations that came with those. This one is probably my favorite because it includes those modules in it, so there is that as well. So all in all, I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10 as far as party games are concerned. Now, I love this game. It's one of my favorite party games to play, and it's one of the ones that I will willingly pull out in a party type atmosphere, because I know it more often than not will just be a hit with the table, and people enjoy playing it even if they don't exactly know what they're doing the entire time. So a 9 out of 10 for me for DC Spyfall. Hit it out of the park. I love it. It's a great game. You should definitely go give it a try. And that's it from me. We'll see you guys and gals on the flip side. Take care.